I'm Lynelle Long. I was born in Vietnam and I came to Australia as a 5-month-old baby. My white Australian parent flew to Vietnam, picked me up in the middle of the war, brought me home, and I grew up in rural Australia on a dairy farm. And life was pretty tough there because, there weren't many around me who looked like me. And Australia had just come out of the White Australia policy time. So culturally, socially, it was a pretty challenging time to grow up here. I believe that states should be doing like the process that a simple adoption captures, which is the additive factor. We should not have to lose in order to be supported and helped as vulnerable children. What states could do is actually allow us to have the truth of our origins, which is allow our birth identity and all the details of mother, father, dates of birth, place of birth and all of that. But they should also be able to include the adoptive details as well. Have both of those on our identity documents so that we can have the truth reflected of who we are. I really disagree with the argument that having a plenary adoption and wiping out access to our origins will protect us in some way. As we've seen from decades of adoptions done just in this way, we've had so much fraud and misrepresentation and things happening to us anyway. So I can't see, an additive adoption type method making it worse. In fact, I would argue it would make things better because at least we've got the truth. I think the biggest harm that happens is when you are not given your truth. If we're allowed to face the truth, we actually have the courage in our own time and in our own ways to confront that when we're ready. But if you're constantly faced with barriers that prevent you from knowing your truth and your origins, having your right to that blocked in so many ways, that's when the damage occurs to us, further trauma, further harm. And we should be doing what we can to avoid and prevent that. States could do more to preserve identity in adoption by ensuring simple measures are put in place. I've argued for quite some time that, DNA should be taken at the point of relinquishment to A, validate that the parent is actually the relinquished biological parent, and B, to ensure that they are indeed related. If you don't have that verification through some scientific standardised form, you don't know whether that parent claiming to be the parent is actually indeed related. So it would prevent a lot of the illicit practices that we've seen historically. That's just one way. Another way that states could actually facilitate and help us with our identity is to make sure that our truth is listed in our documents and that we have access to them freely. Currently, so many adoptees worldwide are just struggling to even be given a right to their adoption records, their identity documents, their origins. So many of the times we have information redacted. Why is that? It's our truth, it's our origins. And that's just incredibly harmful to prevent us from having that information.